I'm really happy with it. I mean, I'm very happy with the songs. I'm very happy with the idea behind it. The idea of the earth speaking about how it feels. It was an interesting way of looking at climate change compared to just talking about sea levels rising and ice caps melting and all that scientific stuff. I wanted to find a way of talking about climate change that drew more attention towards the planet itself and how the planet must feel about us, about human beings, about the way that we're treating it. And so I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I've been very happy with the reaction to it. It's done quite well in some parts of the world, which is very satisfying. And it's for me, it's very much a family thing. My youngest daughter wrote a poem that gave me the idea for Intruder in the first place, which was very important. So she's on it. Her poem is written on the album sleeve. My other two daughters sing on most of the songs on the album. One of them, my middle one, Persia, she co-wrote one of the songs on the album called a Black Sun, which was again very important. In fact, she did pretty much all of the music. I did a little bit, but Moni did the vocals and the lyrics for it. So, I mean, that's pretty much her song, really. So very proud of her for that. And I just like the connection, that this is an album about the planet and about the future. And my children are the next generation that will inherit, the planet that we give them. And they're on it, they're a part of the whole project. So it's a pretty cool thing for me as a dad, as a father, to have your children so closely and heavily involved with something like this. And it feels like in a way, almost like a transition, as I'm getting to the end of my career. So they are at the very beginning of theirs. And I'm part of that transition of kind of handing things on to them. I intend to make more albums. I'm not dead yet, but I'm definitely closer to the end of my career than the beginning, and they are very much at the start of theirs. So it felt good for many different reasons, actually. And as I say, I am very happy with the way it's turned out. Yeah, the concept before, actually. I mean, the album was probably, I would say, 75%, 3/4 done before the pandemic hit. So by March last year, I think I had 8, maybe 9 songs. I can't remember for sure, but completely finished. So the idea, the concept of the album was completely established. Even the idea that the earth was fighting back, that there would be, it talks about, the earth being hurt, being betrayed, being disappointed, being angry, all those emotions that it must feel, about frustrated, about what we're doing. But it also talked about the earth fighting back, being forced to fight back because of what we're doing to it. And so the idea that there would be something like a virus or some sort of mechanism for attacking human beings was already part of the idea of Intruder. So when the pandemic came along, it was just in a very sad way, but a very tragic way. But it was exactly what the album was already talking about. And so I wrote a song specifically about COVID called "The Gift." But that was the only addition to the album from when COVID came along that I hadn't planned to begin with. So the Gift talks about COVID as a weapon being sent by the planet to attack us. And it talks about it initially and pretends that it is a gift, it's a present, it's something so extraordinary that it would take your breath away. But then as the song progresses, you realize that it's talking about something very, very different. And it explains why it feels the need to do it. Because of the way we treated the planet, the planet is now having to do something against us to bring our numbers down. So that one song is specifically to do with COVID, but it forms a part of the album that is absolutely continuous and perfect. So yeah, very, very much part of the original idea anyway. Well, I'm very lucky. I mean, I have a studio at home, not in the house, but in the backyard. I have a studio there. So when the pandemic happened and the lockdown started, it really didn't make much difference to me because I was already in my own bubble. You know, I woke up in the morning. I sort of see the children, and we have breakfast, and then I go to the studio, and then I work all day and come out at night, go to sleep. You know, and so on every day the same. And so, you know, I was very aware of the pandemic. I was very frightened by it. I didn't want to get sick. I was very careful from the very beginning. I made sure all of my children had masks on at all times when we were out. I was very scared of it. But it didn't have a massive effect on our life each day while I was making the album, because as I say, I was very, very busy. And also the producer that I work with, Aid Fenton, he's based in England, and we make albums together. This is our fifth album together, and all we do is we send files back and forwards. You know, he works in England, I work in America, and so we never actually sit in the studio together anyway with any album. So the fact that we were locked down in our different countries really made no difference at all. We just carried on sending files and having FaceTime chats about the music and what we wanted to do with it. So again, you know, the pandemic really didn't have much of an effect on us. It was when it was finished, when the album was finished, and you're looking to kind of get back into the world again and, you know, gather up your family and start going out and doing things, and you couldn't. Nothing was open. That it hit me more, I think, then when the work was finished. You know, because it was only then that I was wanting to go out, wanting to go to the cinema, wanting to go to restaurants and the beach and do all those things, and it was yeah, it's been difficult for everybody, obviously. Oh yeah. It's very important. You know, with each album that you make, I think you need to have a very significant amount of things that you've not done before. You know, sounds that you've not used before. There will be things that you have. You know, obviously, if you're using a piano, you know, a piano sounds like a piano. You know, a guitar sounds like a guitar, and drums, and so on. So there is always going to be similarity. There were going to be consistent things that go from one album to the next. But I do think it's important to try to find as many new sounds as possible, new layers, you know, and in a way, you know, I think electronic albums, it's not just about synthesizers and keyboards and all that sort of thing. It's about trying to find noises and sounds that come from elsewhere, from other places. So it's not just music. It's sound design. It's designing sounds themselves. So a lot of the sounds on Intruder, there is no instrument that makes them. You know, these are just noises. You know, like, you know what I mean? All sorts of things that you just find a way of. Yeah, absolutely, yes. It's such a cool thing. It really is. You know, it's something that I'm very proud of, and I'm very flattered when I hear that people have been influenced by my things. But I'm still pushing forward. You know, my interest is still always what comes next. You know, what can I do in the future that will keep moving forward. So it's all very well having been, you know, influential at some point. You know, that's fantastic, and it's an honor, and I'm proud of it. But my interest in music is to keep trying to find new things in the future. It's not to live on the past. You know, it's not to just be proud of the past and never try again. I'm still trying, with every album. I'm still trying to move forward, to find new sounds, to find new ways to take in the new technology, to find ways of making that work and be creative with that. That's my interest. That my love of music is really about what I'm going to do next and in the future. I'm more interested in tomorrow than I am yesterday. So while I'm very grateful for the things that people say about what I've done before, my own interest is more about where I'm going next. We would definitely come to Mexico if it's at all possible. Probably not on the October tour. The pandemic situation is still too uncertain. It's very difficult to know. But we're going to be touring Intruder right through 2022 as well. So at that point, there will be a second North American tour. And my hope is that we can put Mexico and further down into South America on that second tour. I've been speaking to Hector in Mexico City about this already. So we're already talking about trying to make sure that happens. So I've been there more than those 2 times actually. I came back again to work with Titan. I did a video in Mexico City with Titan. That was great fun. Really enjoyed it. I've been there a few times now actually. I really love it. Yeah, really cool place. Oh, just man, I'm so grateful. The first time I came there, I was really nervous. I thought no one knows me here. No one's going to come. No one's interested in what I'm doing. And it was such an amazing experience, and it was so exciting. And to go somewhere for the first time and to not expect anything and to see, lots of people and everyone knew the songs and everyone knew the words. And it was just such a great experience and so welcoming and so friendly. I was just very grateful. I'm very, very grateful. And it's become a real favorite for me now. So, like I was saying before, as soon as we can arrange something, I know that we can come back there. And it's definite, it's a positive thing. Then absolutely going to come back. Really looking forward to it. And the Intruder tour, I've yet to start doing the Intruder tours yet, so I don't have that much to say about what's going to happen, other than I just want to try to make them as powerful and as exciting as I possibly can. So. The intention is not to just come there and go through old hits, or old songs rather. It is to come back. Like I was saying, I'm very interested in where I'm going. So the emphasis would be very much on Intruder, and just trying to make the whole thing as powerful as possible. Hello, I'm Gary Numan, and you're listening to Headbanging. My pleasure. Thank you very much. Bye bye.